Thanks for tuning in to Tesla Shorts Time, episode 534 for July 7th, 2026. I'm Patrick, coming to you from Vancouver. Let's dive into today's Tesla news. NHTSA's plan to drop mandatory brake pedals opens a path for robotaxis built without driver controls from day one. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is proposing to eliminate a 31-year-old rule. That rule assumes every vehicle has a human driver ready to brake at any moment. The change would allow manufacturers to design robotaxis without redundant brake hardware components. Certification would move towards system-level redundancy instead of duplicate physical parts. Final adoption would reshape how future unsupervised fleets are built and inspected. This regulatory step directly affects production planning for models like the Cybercab. Now shifting to the first vehicle that could use this new path. Tesla introduced a longer wheelbase Model YL with a genuine third row sized for adults. The layout targets 6 and 7 seat crossover buyers rather than occasional use. Production timing and pricing stay tied to the current Model Y refresh cycle. Official range and cargo figures are still pending ahead of showroom arrival. The model positions Tesla against legacy family haulers from traditional automakers. A buyer in California placed the first order for the new Model YL. The local Tesla center called the same day with launch event details. Delivery timing stays open while production ramps up. Early orders like this will give the first real-world data on wait times for the extended version. Meanwhile, Tesla is also opening its battery lines to outside teams. Giga Berlin launched the Cell Giga Challenge for battery startups. Selected teams receive paid pilot runs on the 4680 line. The program moves beyond unpaid trials to direct funding and production scale data. The goal is fresh yield and cost ideas that could feed into European structural packs. Output from the trials could influence cell specifications for the next vehicle programs there. This effort builds on earlier supplier outreach, but adds concrete production access. Internal targets at the same site point to a 20% rise in weekly output from existing lines through efficiency gains alone. European demand signals remain the key variable for sustaining that higher rate. As Tesla experiments with cell supply, it is also adjusting prices in markets where subsidies just began. Tesla raised Model Y and Model 3 prices in South Korea shortly after qualifying for local battery electric vehicle incentives. Critics say the increases largely canceled the buyer benefit from the subsidies. The company has not commented on the timing or the size of the adjustments. Regulators may review whether the program is achieving its intended price reduction. The pattern shows how quickly posted prices can absorb most of an incentive. Now turning to the broader question of how subsidies function as margin timing tools. Subsidies shift when manufacturers adjust prices more than they change underlying costs. South Korea shows posted prices can absorb most of the incentive within days. Realized margins therefore become partly a function of regulatory calendars. The same logic applies when incentives shrink or disappear. A price cut that looks generous can simply restore the pre-subsidy equilibrium. Buyers who focus only on the headline incentive miss how quickly the manufacturer recalibrates. Factories still need to hit cost targets, yet the realized price per unit can swing with subsidy calendars. Watching the next round of qualification deadlines gives a clearer signal on near-term margin pressure. Service also began in a limited Miami zone following the Texas launch. The expansion tests scaling of the app and remote monitoring team. Utilization rates are being watched to gauge whether the initial rollout supports broader valuation assumptions. The Cybercab was presented as a purpose-built robotaxi without traditional controls. The design emphasizes fleet economics over individual ownership. Early displays focused on interior space and sensor layout rather than performance specs. While policy and pricing play out, real-world autonomy incidents continue to surface. A driver was recorded fully asleep at highway speed while the vehicle maintained speed. The cabin camera captured the occupant with no strong intervention from the system. Tesla will need clearer escalation protocols before unsupervised operation can expand. Separate legal action against another autonomy developer adds pressure on the sector. A separate incident recorded a driver asleep at 100 kilometers per hour on an open road. Current cabin camera systems issued no intervention strong enough to wake the occupant. Safety questions sit alongside the latest software tweaks riders are already seeing. The Robotaxi app now shows whether a safety driver is present on the trip. Riders see a clear indicator before the ride begins so they know if supervision is active. The feature covers Texas operations and any new cities added this summer. It aims to set clearer expectations while supervised service continues. Feedback from users will shape how the company communicates capability limits going forward. This update addresses rider expectations around current supervised operation versus future unsupervised service. On the sales front, battery electric vehicle registrations doubled in Japan during the first half of the year. Registrations of battery electric vehicles rose sharply through June compared with the same period last year. Tesla captured meaningful share behind Toyota and ahead of Nissan in the segment. Growth came across multiple price points rather than a single high-volume model. Continued expansion will depend on charging access outside major cities. Tesla and Rivian both posted higher second quarter deliveries, while several legacy automakers saw electric vehicle volumes decline. Both companies posted higher second quarter handovers, while several traditional automakers saw EV volumes decline. The divergence points to differences in inventory management and model availability. Financing partners noted steady demand for the newer entrants despite higher interest rates. The trend will be tested again when third quarter numbers arrive. Owners report growing appreciation for over-the-air updates, Sentry Mode, and cabin preconditioning after the first year. The list also includes Frunk Utility and the mobile app remote control functions. Survey responses came from long-term drivers rather than new buyers. Continued software improvements will determine whether these features keep widening the gap versus competitors. Tesla is selling summer gear, including a powered cooler that fits in the Model Y frunk or trunk. The powered cooler fits inside the Model Y frunk or trunk and runs on the vehicle's 12-volt system. Other items include apparel and accessories tied to the current vehicle lineup. The move extends Tesla's direct-to-consumer sales beyond cars into lifestyle products. Sales volume will show whether owners treat the store as a regular stop. An owner who switched from a full-size pickup tracked fuel maintenance and electricity costs. The owner tracked fuel, maintenance, and electricity costs after switching from a full-size pickup. Savings appeared mainly in daily commuting rather than towing or long-haul use. The comparison covered several months of real-world operation across mixed routes. Broader adoption among truck buyers will hinge on similar transparent cost data. Before we go, keep an eye on how the new Model Y/L wait times develop from those early California orders. That's your Tesla news for today. TSLA closed at $419.77, up $26.32, 6.7%. If you found this useful, a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify really helps new listeners find the show. You can also find us on X at Tesla Shorts Time. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow. And before you go, this show is part of the NARA Network, a family of daily podcasts on tech, science, and markets, each one a short, sharp briefing you can finish on the commute. If today earned its place in your feed, here's your next listen. Models and Agents, your daily briefing on AI models and agents. Find every show free at naranetwork.com. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.